A lot of suspicious lines out there today. Which ones are we buying? Welcome to Make It Take It. I'm DC. My last video on Thursday, I was 2-0. Both my games came out. Hofstra covered easy. And then my teaser with Little Rock and Utah Valley also came out. Back to not needing the points. That always gets you either way, which leads us into today. Saturday, I talk just about every Saturday about how Saturdays can be confusing because there's so many games. But I feel like I'm seeing today's board really clear. I had to actually rule out some games that I'll tell you about in a minute. But first, my main 5 plays, because I think these lines are off for one reason or another. I'm going to explain to you why. Sunbelt, Texas State at UL Lafayette. Look at the record discrepancy here. Texas State, 18-11. UL Lafayette, 9-19. So why is the line only 3.5? When I look deeper at Texas State, I see, they're 18-11, but they have a weak strength of schedule. So does UL Lafayette. That kind of cancels out. 3-8 on the road is Texas State. They're actually one of those teams that have the away versus home differences. They're actually 345th out of 365 in home and away difference in how they play. And I've been talking about that stat a lot recently, and I've been going with those games, and I'm going with this one. I'm taking Lafayette. I'll buy the 0.5 point up to 4, the Lafayette at home. Then the biggest conference game that I'm taking today, Missouri at Arkansas. This line seems really big. It was 10.5 last night. This morning I looked, it was 10. Now it's 9.5 some places. We look at pretty much the same records. 18-8 for Missouri, 19-7 for Arkansas. Arkansas is top 50 in just about every category, including 55th in pace of play. You know I like those high-paced teams. 11th overall in strength of schedule, so they've had it rough. Of course, Missouri has a tough schedule too. But this is another case of home and away split because the difference there puts Missouri down at 323rd out of 365 in how they play away versus home. I'm going to lay the points with Arkansas, but I'm going to buy the 0.5 point down to 9. Let's say this game's been going down. This morning I saw it at -10, +100. So -9, Arkansas, my big conference game. Temple at Wichita State. Temple usually plays Wichita State tough. No matter where they're at, they pretty much have the same records, 15-11 Temple, 17-11. Wichita, Temple's won the last 3 straight up, so why is the line all the way up to 8 in favor of Wichita? I think that's telling us something because, like I say, Temple's covered 8 out of the last 10. The fact that they still have this line almost at double digits, I'm laying it with Wichita. I'm saying they get a close game. I considered teasing it, but I'm just going to stay with it straight up. I do have a teaser that I'm going to bring after my next play in the Big Sky. The later game is going to be Northern Arizona at Northern Colorado. I like a lot of these big favorites today, and Northern Colorado is another one. They're laying at 12.5 right now. I bought that down to 12. Northern Arizona, 10-17. Northern Colorado, 17-10. So we know by record Northern Colorado is a lot better, but I think they're even better than their 17-10 says. Early in the season, I picked Idaho State to win the Big Sky, and they've let me down all year. Now I think Northern Colorado might be that emerging team. Northern Arizona already beat them once this year, and Northern Colorado is still a 12.5 point favorite. I'll lay the 12 and take Northern Colorado. And then my teaser that I'm going to get into, North Dakota at South Dakota State. North Dakota's sitting at 16-14. South Dakota State, 12-16. These two usually get at it, but I think the 6.5 point line is about right for South Dakota State. I'm going to buy that down to 1.5 and combine it with Queens. I'm going to take the Queens line down to 6. They're playing Western Georgia. Queens 16-12, 11-2 at home. Fast pace, number 81st in the country in pace. And they are 40th in how they play away versus home. So when they get on that home court, they fly. They play a lot better. Western Georgia is a high-paced team too. So I would consider they're over there. And then some of my leans that I considered, I looked at Boise State, I looked at SMU, Toledo, and Long Beach State. but I decided to stay with the 5 that I have. This is the biggest take that I've had. But I have a special guest today. Let's check it out. All right, Moneyline Milo. We haven't seen Milo in a while. He's grown so much.
Yeah.
What do you think today about today's games, Milo?
Well, it's spring training, and I still count that. And today I like the Philadelphia Phillies on the money line.
Phillies back in action today. Their first game in spring training. We've been waiting to watch the little Phillies. They're playing Toronto and Dunedin. So we get to check them out. How about basketball? You got any basketball ideas?
Well, I like St. Joe's Hawks today, too, on the money line.
St. Joe's playing Loyola Chicago at home. So we'll check out that St. Joe's games. I got some big favorites today. Northern Colorado, Wichita, Arkansas. I have the small dog of UL Lafayette and a teaser, South Dakota State Queen. We're supposed to get like a foot of snow this weekend.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great.
Yeah, let me know how much snow you get where you are tomorrow.
We're actually supposed to get more snow than anybody else. Usually we get less snow.
Yeah, we're
get
down
snow.
here in South New Jersey, southeast, and we're supposed to get the most of it.
Kaboom.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Good luck on all your bets today. Let's get it Saturday.